Hey loves, welcome back to another taping of Purposefully Becoming. I am your empowerment coach, Nita, and I'm glad you guys tuned in for another episode. Today was kind of inspired because I really started the day off really on the wrong foot. Like I went to work and I was irritable with everything and everyone, and I was snappy, and my blood pressure was up, and I had a headache, and it was just, today wasn't a good day. And it's funny because when I have days like that, and even when I don't, I actually try to fortify, is what I call it. I call it fortifying my foundation. I try to do that by reinforcing myself with positive things. Like I might listen to TD Jakes or something. Something I might listen to. Oprah's channel on YouTube is really good. I like to listen to some of the things that she does. Different things I like to listen to. Sometimes the coaching group that I'm in on Facebook, they're online and they're talking, and I'm always drawing inspiration from them. So sometimes they hop on, and so I was trying to do that today because I was just not in a good space. And ever since I started this business, I've been really going hard. Like I have really been putting a lot of time into it, and because I work from 9 to 5 and I have a little person, it really is really hard to do it all. But the passion that I have for it has been pushing me until recently. Um, the burnout is starting to be heavy on me, and when I was driving home today, I was listening to a live in my group on Facebook, and they put things into perspective because there was something that I had been forgetting to do. When I first started my business, I was totally moving on the direction of God. And I'm very connected to my source. Whatever your source is, I think it's important that you stay connected to it. Because whether you believe in God or whatever you practice, there is something greater than us. And I feel like if it's a positive things that helps you be a better person, to live a good life, to be kind, to do right by others, whatever it is, if it's causing you joy and it's creating an energy around you that trickles down to other people and allows you to be someone positive for those individuals, then I support it. It doesn't have to be what I believe or what I think, but anything that's positive, if that's what you believe, I'm totally for it. But of course, my higher source, my power is to me, for me, is God. And I was being totally led by him. Every idea, every concept, everything that I was pouring into my business initially to lay the foundation for purposefully becoming was all definitely coming from him. He was feeding me. But as the business has continued to pour out of me, I have not really sought him as much. And in the process of that, I've been a little disconnected because I've been working so hard. I haven't really been maintaining my own spiritual wellness in the process. No meditation, no fasting, not a whole lot of praying about or over my business or over myself, or just taking the time to rest and pour into myself and rejuvenate my own soul so that I could be clear and have clarity as I keep moving. So today in the group, they made it very clear to me that that was something that I was missing. Um, and it's so good to have people around you that keep you aware when you make a mistake, or when you get a little off track, to have a group of people or even one person that holds you accountable for the things it is that you want to accomplish or the things that you may or may not be doing. And I just so happen to have been blessed with lots of different pockets of people and groups that do reinforce when I get off track. So if you don't have a group or a set of people or an individual that holds you accountable and checks in and balances you out, I would really suggest you go out there and find that, to keep you spiritually aware. Um, and then another thing I wanted to say, I have notes, so y'all forgive me. Um, I think it's important too because I started to see like where I was faltering, especially when it comes to my business and self-care, which is huge for me in my life right now. I think self-care is so important because we don't understand when we are empty as individuals, when we are giving so much of ourselves and we're not putting anything back in, we're really not giving the best of ourselves to everything. We're really giving a fraction of ourselves to things because we're really not operating and functioning from a place of wholeness and fullness. We're not clear, and we're not seeing things clearly because we are not completely full. And I love what Ayanna Van Zant said one day. I was listening to a culmination of some of the speeches she gave, and she was saying that you need to be full to the point that your cup is overflowing. Because if your cup is overflowing, that is where the blessing comes in for everyone around you. They're getting the overflow. So they're getting your overflow, so you're always full. So you always have to remember that you have to continue to connect to your source so that you can rejuvenate and get back the things that you're pouring out into life. And I don't think I always had that concept, because into things, into people, especially if I'm passionate about it or if I care about it, I have always poured so much of myself into it, to the point that if something happened to it, or if it didn't work out, or if it didn't end the way that I had anticipated it ending, it was over, and there was a portion of me that was missing because I lost myself in it, because I wasn't full when I was giving to it. So it's like being in pieces and not truly being full and giving to things to the point where there's brokenness if that thing ends, or if it doesn't happen the way you want it to happen. So just keep that in mind, that you always have to make sure that you're okay first. And that's not out of selfishness. That's just out of preservation, self-care, self-love, how you feel about you. Because if you're not together, you're not all the way together, you can't give anyone anything. And that's what I was getting today in the group. When they were talking, I'm thinking, I'm pouring all this content out. I'm creating all these programs. I'm writing books. I'm doing all these things. And I am feeling so depleted. I'm feeling so empty because I haven't really taken the time out for me to just pour back into me so that I have more to give. And I have it to give with a clarity of mind that allows my source to come forth and work through me to serve these women that I, am so passionate about serving. So I just wanted to put that out there as well for anyone who might be struggling with that. Just connect. Just stay connected to your source at all times. It's hard to think about it sometimes because you're moving at such a high rate of speed. But another thing that I was reminded of today is that you have to slow down. You have to take your time. I know, what did they say? Rome wasn't built in a day. And so anything that you're doing for you or for others, or whatever it is that you might be pouring into, I know we get excited and we want something right away, and I'm guilty of that. I'm not a patient person. I do not like to wait. I am not someone, if I have an idea, I want it to come forth. I want it to be effective. I want 18 million people to be, front and center and loving it just like I do. And it almost feels like a disappointment when it isn't received the way that you pray it will be received, or the way that or people don't love it the way that you do. But if you are connected to your source and you are walking in your purpose and you are doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing, regardless, it's going to touch the people that it's meant to touch. It's going to be what it was meant to be. You just have to be patient, and you have to be full, and you have to be operating in obedience. You have to be connected. You have to be listening. And those are all things that I had to come back to today. I had to come back to God has to be all the way in my business for it to be the business that I know that it can be, the business that I know that He would want it to be, the business that it's supposed to be. So I had to slow down because I'm a fast. I don't play around. I don't like to wait. And we are such an immediate, all of us. I'm not these youngins. I'm not a millennial. Sorry, I'm not a millennial. Nothing's wrong with you guys. I admire your work ethic and ability to get things done. But I'm saying all that to say is that even though I'm not a millennial, I am quick. I want quick results. I don't like to wait. And the Lord has worked on my patience a lot of my life, and so I should have learned by now that he is going to make me wait if I have to wait. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Um, so that comes to being patient, readjusting. You have to readjust in the time that you're taking to rejuvenate, connect, rest, meditate, fast, whatever it is that you do when you are trying to get reconnected and rejuvenate, revive, replenish your stores and the things that are going to get you back to fully operational. That's the time too where you get to readjust. I know for me, I've gotten a little off track. Even though I've been very productive and gotten a lot done, I realized, even just talking to a friend who also is an entrepreneur, and he is actually a relationship coach. We had talked last week and we were talking about some things, and he just made it clear to me that there were some little things, no matter how many big things I had been doing to progress my business. He had reminded me that there were little things that I didn't have done. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm moving too fast, because the stepping stones, the little things that need to be done aren't done. Let me readjust. So in that period that I'm about to take, because all of this is coming forth because I'm about to take that time now to pour back into myself all the things that I have poured out, I have to readjust to make sure that I am actually focused on the purpose. So that's also what this time is for, to readjust. To readjust where you may be a little off, or you may be moving so fast that you kind of move past the thing that it is that you should be focused on. And so in that time that you are readjusting and refocusing, you also come to a place where you make sure that you are still operating and activating and executing a plan that is lined up with God's plan. And the only way that you can see that, and the only way that you will know that, and the only way that you will know that you are effectively doing that, is if you actually sit still and pour into yourself. Take the time to listen and make sure that everything you do, you're lining it up properly. Because if you sit and you listen and you pay attention, you can see that you're walking the right path. So I am hoping that that was helpful, because it is something that I am struggling with. So I wanted to share it, because I know that I'm in a place right now where I'm just moving at a high rate of speed. And a lot of times it feels good, but I can feel myself starting to become depleted. My blood pressure, the way I eat, the way my body is functioning, I'm not working out, I'm not sleeping. It's just not a good situation. And I don't want anyone to get to that point. I want you to always stay connected. And I'm grateful for the people around me who have allowed me the opportunity to see, okay, wait, you're doing too much, you're moving too fast. All great and all purposeful and intentional decisions that you're making in your life. But guess what? You still have to make time for you to rejuvenate, to readjust, and refocus, so that you can get back up at full capacity and continue to pour into whatever it is that you're doing. So it may not even be entrepreneurship, anything in life that you are doing. Make sure that you are completely whole and completely full before you do it. So again, subscribe. I'm gonna just point to both sides of the screen. So whichever way you're looking at this, you'll know there's a button that you hit to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to purposefully-becoming.com, which you will see at the bottom of the screen, to subscribe to the mailing list for all events if you're in the DMV area, because that is where I live. So all my workshops and things will be in that area until I start to stream them for people who do not live in the area. But that, of course, will be coming later on. I have a new ebook that's coming. So if you subscribe to the mailing list and you go to the website, you can pre-order it if you would like a copy. And also, when you sign up for the mailing list, you get a free copy of my workbook, The Way We View Ourselves, which is basically introspection and a full process on how to really change the way that you view yourself as a person, so that you can actually start to do the work to remove any falsehoods that are driving you and driving the way that you look at you, so that you can actually feel your best, believe in yourself, and live that purposeful and intentional life that I always talk about. Also follow me on all social handles, and that way you can all stay up on what is going on with Purposefully Becoming. And I love you all, and thank you for watching.